Hey, what's going on, guys? So in this video, I want to talk to you guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, I mean, even I'm in the garage right now, even though it's like 80 degrees. Not 80. It's probably like maybe low 70s outside. It's pretty hot in here, so it's getting a little warm. Maybe that's why I've been having trouble talking. But yeah, so in this video, I want to talk to you guys about one of the most common mistakes. It's not really mistakes, more of an excuse that entrepreneurs make, and it is the fact that they need connections in order to succeed. While I do agree with the fact that you can succeed quickly and a little bit more, it might make your path a little easier. But the fact that you need connections to become successful I think it's complete BS, because I've been able to become a successful entrepreneur without any connections. I did a lot of cold calling, cold emailing, just pure raw hustle, and I've succeeded. I mean, if I had these connections, or the so-called connections, I probably would have been able to save so much time and been able to get to the point where I am, a few years earlier, get there quicker. But I just can't stand it when entrepreneurs make this mistake. So I mean, I don't know why well, technically it is a mistake and an excuse at the same time, because it's a mistake in the fact that they use this excuse and they don't get started until maybe like 4 or 5 years later, or whatever it is, because that's a mistake, because you're allowing that mindset to hold you back, and that's not what real entrepreneurs do. If you're a real entrepreneur, you're gonna figure out a way. You're gonna get started, and you're gonna figure out what you want to do in order to get from point A to point B. You're gonna do whatever it takes to accomplish that goal, whether or not you have connections or not. You don't find connections, or you don't have connections from the get-go. You gain connections by going through it, and you accumulate people people who can help you out over the years, and as you keep doing that, your path as an entrepreneur gets a lot easier. It doesn't get a lot easier in terms of like you're gonna or things are gonna be less risky. You're probably gonna have the same risk, if not more, depending on what you're doing. But the fact that you have access to expertise or cash or whatever, if you gain connections where you can get cash and expertise quicker, that's gonna help you out for sure. But no entrepreneur starts out with connections unless your father is is an entrepreneur himself, or your father or mother, excuse me, are entrepreneurs themselves, and they know people who can help you out. But the best entrepreneurs are the ones who don't have connections, because they're extra motivated to get started, and those are arguably the most successful ones, because entrepreneurs who come from a family of entrepreneurs who might be wealthy or who might have connections, in my opinion, aren't as successful. Or okay, I don't want to generalize here, but in most cases they're probably not as successful as the ones who don't have connections, because the ones who don't have connections are hungrier, they're more motivated, they're more determined to get out of the situation. They might be from a lower income family, and they're motivated to get out from their neighborhood, or get out from a certain situation that they're not happy with. So they have more motivation, they have a chip on their shoulder to become more successful. So the fact that you don't have any connections is actually a good thing, because you should be more motivated to accomplish what you want to accomplish than the fact that than entrepreneurs who have connections, because they're going to rely on those connections, and they're not going to be as motivated or as determined to become successful. And sometimes they might even depend on these connections to do the work for them, and that's never a good sign, because as an entrepreneur, as a successful entrepreneur, you want to be hands-on, you want to be able to do everything yourself. But you can't also forget about the fact that as an entrepreneur or successful entrepreneur, you should be delegating responsibilities, which includes building a really good team. If you have a really good team and you trust them, which you should be if they're on your team, you can delegate responsibilities and actually get more done than overworking yourself. But I'm gonna say that for another video. But yeah, just because you don't have connections, don't let that BS hold, or don't let that be an excuse, or don't let that hold you back. Because that's a huge mistake. Don't let that mentality hold you back, because it is so far from the truth. You do not need connections. Again, it helps you out. It might help. I mean, it might help you out depending on what your connections are. I mean, who your connections are, or what you're trying to, because you might have connections and that might not even be able to help you in that particular startup. So I think having connections or having that mindset is overrated. So just because of the fact that you don't have connections doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. I think you're going to be more successful than entrepreneurs who have connections, or so-called connections. So I hope this helps you guys out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, give it a like. That would greatly help out the channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you guys have any ideas, suggestions, concerns, leave it in the comment section below, because I'm always waiting for your comments. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.